Have you ever found yourself waiting for a reply that never comes? Wondering if you said something wrong or did something to make them pull away? If you've been ghosted or feel like someone's playing games, don't worry, you're not alone. The truth is, many people experience these emotional roller coasters, but there are ways to handle them with confidence and calm. Imagine this. You're on a date with someone you're genuinely interested in. The chemistry, it's undeniable. You think, this could be something special. But suddenly, they start to pull back. The calls become less frequent, the texts dry up, and suddenly you're left wondering, what went wrong? All right, so today, we're talking about something many of you may have faced, but probably haven't fully understood: how to outsmart women who play games with your heart. Now, if you click on this, I'm guessing you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're interested in someone, things feel right, and the connection seems real, until it doesn't. Out of the blue, you're left in a fog of mixed signals and uncertainty. You see, it's confusing, it's frustrating, and it leaves you doubting yourself. But here's the thing. You're not alone in this, and you don't have to stay in that space of confusion. Because today, we're diving into 5 ways you can outsmart these emotional games without losing your sense of self in the process. This isn't about manipulation, it's about clarity, confidence, and self-respect. But why do some women play these kinds of games? Let's break it down. Some women might play games for a variety of reasons. Sometimes it's about testing your interest and commitment. Some women do it to protect themselves from potential hurt or rejection. Others do it because they probably have had bad experiences in the past, and they're protecting their heart. Most women just want to test a man's commitment to see if he's generally interested in something long-term. By observing a man's responses to certain situations, just to gauge their level of interest and investment in the relationship. Well, listen up, because we're getting to the root of why this happens and what you can do to stay one step ahead. Today, I'll show you not only how to navigate these games, but how to come out on top without ever compromising your integrity. So if you're ready, let's get into it. Number 1, recognize the signs. First things first, let's talk about recognizing the signs. You see, the key to avoiding being pulled into emotional games is to actually see them for what they are. Think of it as if you're watching a chess game from above. You have a view of every move, and with that perspective, you can make smarter choices. But if you're too close to the board, you'll just react impulsively without seeing the bigger picture. One of the major signs of game playing is the push-pull dynamic, a hot and cold routine that can make you feel like you're on an emotional roller coaster. One day she's all in, texting you non-stop, sharing jokes, giving compliments, hinting at a future together, and it feels amazing. Then, out of nowhere, she's distant, unresponsive, acting like she couldn't care less. It's like flipping a switch, and you're left wondering, what did I do wrong? Here's the thing, this push-pull strategy is intentional. It creates a pattern of unpredictability that keeps you on your toes. You start craving that attention again, and in a sense, she's subtly training you to chase. From a psychological standpoint, this taps into something known as intermittent reinforcement, where inconsistent rewards, like her unpredictable attention, actually make you want it even more. This technique is so effective that it's used in everything from marketing to gambling because it makes people hooked on the highs and lows. Then there's the silent treatment, or sudden pulling away without explanation. You'll be in the middle of enjoying a great conversation, maybe even making plans, and suddenly, radio silence. No explanations, no heads up, just a wall of coldness that leaves you feeling insecure and wondering what went wrong. Again, this tactic is designed to keep you guessing, feeling a bit off balance, and craving her approval. And let's not forget about the constant tests. Sometimes these are subtle digs or little jokes about how you're not quite measuring up or how she's got options. This isn't harmless teasing. It's a way to gauge how much control she has over you, how much you'll put up with to keep her around. It's like she's probing, trying to see how deeply invested you are, or even how much she can get away with. The moment you start recognizing these behaviors, you're already taking back your power. Like Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." When you can see these signs for what they are, you're in a position of strength. You're no longer reacting impulsively. Instead, you're seeing the game play out, and you can choose to stay grounded, not letting her actions dictate your feelings. So, what's the takeaway here? It's about maintaining your own emotional center. When you notice these signs, don't get pulled into the chase. Breathe, observe, and remember that you're in control of how you respond. When you can maintain your emotional distance, you're setting a powerful boundary without saying a word. Number 2, stay calm. All right, now that you're recognizing the signs, the next step is crucial. Stay calm. Here's the thing, when someone's playing games, what they're really after is a reaction. They want to see if they can make you jealous, frustrated, or insecure. But, as the Stoics would remind us, it's not things themselves that disturb us, but the judgments we make about them. Think of your emotions as an ocean. When you stay calm, you're like a serene, steady sea. No matter how much someone tries to stir the waters, you remain peaceful and grounded. But when you let your emotions run wild, you become like a stormy sea, turbulent, chaotic, and unpredictable. That's exactly what someone playing games wants. They're looking to draw you into their chaos. Imagine this. She suddenly pulls back after days of consistent communication, or perhaps she's doing the push-pull thing, giving mixed signals. Your natural impulse might be to chase, to double down and figure out what's wrong. But here's where you need to pause. When you stay calm, taking a moment to breathe and collect yourself, you're showing resilience. You're signaling that you're not easily manipulated. Instead of reacting instantly, give her space. Don't flood her with messages asking what's going on or if you did something wrong. Focus on your life, your activities, and what brings you happiness. This doesn't mean ignoring her or pretending you don't care. It means responding thoughtfully from a place of calmness and self-confidence. Let's say she flakes on plans or cancels last minute. Instead of reacting with frustration or trying to make her feel guilty, you calmly accept it and go about your day. She'll notice that you're not fazed, and that can be disarming. In fact, this non-reactive response often has a more powerful impact because it's so unexpected. She might even find herself drawn to your calm, unshakable energy because you're not letting her behavior affect your sense of self. And here's a powerful tip. Avoid retaliating with your own games. It might be tempting to try and make her feel the way she's making you feel, but that only fuels the cycle. Real strength comes from rising above these tactics. You don't play her game because you're too grounded, too centered, to waste your energy on manipulation. From a psychological perspective, staying calm and indifferent in the face of manipulation is highly attractive. It signals that you're secure, self-assured, and not easily influenced by others. This is what the Stoics referred to as apatheia, freedom from passion, or, in modern terms, emotional resilience. In relationships, this resilience is what makes you captivating because you're not chasing, reacting, or desperately trying to control the situation. You're simply being true to yourself. So, when you sense a game starting up, remind yourself to stay grounded. Take a deep breath and let the impulse to react fade. By remaining calm, you're not just protecting your peace of mind, you're setting a standard. You're showing that you're not here to play games, but to find genuine, respectful connections. Number 3, breadcrumbing technique. Let's talk about breadcrumbing. This isn't about genuine interest or a deep connection. It's a game of just enough. You know the scenario. She gives you just enough attention to keep you interested. Maybe it's a flirty text here, a quick "we should hang out sometime" there, or a casual snap of her day. It's enough to keep you wondering, enough to keep you invested. But when it's time to make real plans, she's nowhere to be found. Suddenly, she's busy, she's just not sure, or she goes silent. It's a cycle, and it's intentional. This strategy is designed to keep you on the hook, holding on to hope, without a real commitment. Now, here's the important part. Why does this happen? This tactic, known as breadcrumbing, is based on a simple psychological principle: intermittent reinforcement. Like a slot machine, she gives you attention in small, unpredictable doses, just enough to keep you emotionally invested, even though the payout of a real connection is almost non-existent. It's a strategy that can make even the most grounded person question themselves and cling to any small sign of interest. So, how do you handle breadcrumbing without falling into the trap? First, you recognize it for what it is: a tactic to string you along without any intention of real commitment. When you see this pattern, it's crucial to respond in a way that maintains your boundaries and self-respect. Here's how. Call it out. Not in a confrontational or emotional way, but calmly and confidently. For example, you might say, "Look, I'm not here for half-hearted attention. If you're interested in spending time together, let's make it happen. If not, that's fine too. But I'm not going to wait around." Simple, direct, and to the point. Notice there's no anger in that statement. No pleading. You're stating your boundaries in a calm, composed manner. And this is powerful. By doing this, you make it crystal clear that you have standards. You're not here to settle for less than what you truly deserve. This is about setting an expectation, not just for the other person, but for yourself. By taking this stance, you show that you're a person of value, someone who respects their time and energy. Let's add a Stoic twist here. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This quote reminds us that while you can't control how someone else chooses to act, you can control how you respond. The calm, detached response you give in this situation is a demonstration of that strength. And here's the beauty of this approach. When you calmly call out the breadcrumbing behavior, you shift the power dynamic. Suddenly she's aware that you won't be strung along by scraps of attention. You're communicating that your time and energy are valuable, and if she can't step up to meet that, you're perfectly fine moving on. This response doesn't come from a place of anger or frustration, but from self-respect and clarity about what you want. And let's be real, calling it out can go one of two ways. Either she realizes she's dealing with someone who won't tolerate games and steps up her behavior, or she continues breadcrumbing and slowly fades out. Either way, you win. If she steps up, you're closer to a genuine connection. If she fades away, well, you've dodged a situation that would likely drain your time and energy. Remember, you're not here to play the waiting game. You're here for real, meaningful connections, and breadcrumbing doesn't fit that picture. By standing your ground, you demonstrate the strength and respect that others are naturally drawn to. Number 4, avoid emotional retaliation. One of the most common pitfalls men fall into when dealing with mind games is reacting emotionally. She does something to make you jealous or leaves you on red for hours. Instinctively, you feel like getting even. Maybe she starts flirting with another guy, so you try to make her jealous by flirting with someone else. Or maybe she suddenly pulls back, and you're tempted to start playing hard to get, hoping she'll chase you instead. But here's the hard truth. That never works. The moment you start retaliating emotionally, you've already lost. Why? Because by reacting to her actions, you're letting her control your emotions. She's in the driver's seat, and you're simply responding to her lead. This is the exact opposite of what you want, right? You want to stay grounded, confident, and unshakable. As the Stoics would say, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. When you retaliate emotionally, you're suffering twice. First from her actions, and then from your own reaction. A Stoic man knows that reacting emotionally is a sign of weakness because it hands over control to someone else. As Epictetus said, no man is free who is not master of himself. If you're reacting out of jealousy, anger, or insecurity, you're no longer the master of your actions. She is. So what's the alternative? How do you break the cycle? The answer lies in calm indifference. If she's playing games, pulling back, or trying to get a rise out of you, don't bite. Respond with a composed, non-reactive attitude. If she's ghosting you, don't chase her or try to make her jealous in return. Simply withdraw your attention and focus on yourself. When you respond with indifference, you're not ignoring her. You're making it clear that you're unbothered. And this, in itself, speaks volumes. There's a psychological reason why this works. When you don't react emotionally, you break the pattern she's trying to set. Most people who play games expect a certain reaction. They want to feel they have some level of control over your emotions. By responding with calmness, you're denying them that satisfaction. Studies show that people are drawn to emotional stability and confidence. It signals strength and maturity. Consider this. If she's constantly throwing tests your way and you remain centered, she'll soon realize that you're not the type to get easily swayed. You're stable, like a rock in the middle of a turbulent ocean. As the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius put it, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. By focusing on your own mental state and choosing not to react emotionally, you're reclaiming your power. But let's be real, it can be tempting to retaliate, especially when someone is pushing your buttons. In these moments, remember that emotional retaliation is only a short-term release. It may feel satisfying at the moment, but in the long run, it will drain your emotional energy and only prolong the game. Staying calm and steady, however, leads to peace and self-respect. You're signaling that you're not going to play along, and that alone is enough to break the cycle. When she realizes that her actions don't have a hold on you, her perception of you changes. She starts to see you as someone who can't be easily manipulated or controlled, and that is attractive on a whole new level. This is how you maintain control over your emotional space and uphold your self-respect. So, next time you feel the urge to retaliate or engage in emotional games, take a step back. Ask yourself, am I giving away my power here? Remember that a calm mind is a powerful mind, and when you stay composed, you're reinforcing a foundation of respect that no mind game can shake. Number 5. Set boundaries. Setting boundaries in a relationship isn't just about protecting yourself, it's about setting the standard for respect. Listen, boundaries aren't barriers, they're bridges that lead to deeper respect and connection. Women, as much as they might not say it outright, crave boundaries because they signal something powerful: self-respect. And a man who respects himself is a man others will respect too. You see, boundaries aren't about trying to control someone or set rigid rules. Instead, they're about creating a space where you can both feel valued. Setting boundaries comes from understanding what you need to feel respected, safe, and emotionally secure in the relationship. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, know first who you are and then adorn yourself accordingly. In other words, when you know what's important to you, setting boundaries becomes an extension of that self-awareness. So, how do you set boundaries without seeming insecure or controlling? Let's break it down. Suppose she frequently cancels plans last minute, leaving you hanging with no explanation. Instead of ignoring it or silently resenting it, you address it in a calm, direct manner. You might say something like, "Hey, I've noticed you've been canceling a lot lately, and I value consistency. If it's tough for you to make plans work, I understand, but I'm not comfortable with this back and forth." Look at how that plays out. You're not accusing her, you're not reacting emotionally, you're simply stating a boundary with calm self-assurance. And that's where the magic happens. When you communicate from a place of respect and strength, it forces her to either step up and respect you, or move on. Either way, you win. Why? Because you've protected your emotional energy and kept your standards clear. As Marcus Aurelius wisely put it, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one. Let's take a common scenario. Suppose you're dating a woman who enjoys flirting with other guys in front of you. This could be her way of testing your confidence or gauging your jealousy. Most guys would either blow up and get angry or sit there stewing, feeling undermined. But not you. You maintain composure and later calmly pull her aside to address it. You might say something like, "Look, I'm not here to play games. If you're interested in other guys, that's fine, but I'm not going to stick around for it." See what's happening here? You're not reacting with jealousy or anger. You're setting a boundary from a place of self-respect. You're giving her the choice to either respect your boundary or face the consequence of you walking away. And here's the truth. If you don't set these boundaries early on, you're signaling that it's okay for her to overstep, that it's okay to play with your emotions. From a psychological standpoint, boundaries are crucial because they act as filters, letting in behavior that aligns with your values and filtering out what doesn't. When you set boundaries, you're also setting up an environment where real trust and respect can grow. And remember, boundaries are not about ultimatums or fear. They're about showing that you know your worth and expect others to honor it as well. As Stoics teach, the only control we truly have is over our own responses and standards. Setting boundaries isn't about scaring someone away. It's about courageously showing them what matters to you. In Seneca's words, "A man is as miserable as he thinks he is." So if you allow behavior that doesn't align with your standards, you're the one who's creating your own discontent. Setting boundaries doesn't make you weak or controlling. It makes you powerful. It's about making it clear that you're here for something genuine and real, and anything less than that isn't worth your time. In the end, handling mind games is about mastering yourself, not playing into the hands of others. First, recognize the signs. Mixed signals, pulling away, testing your reactions. All of these reveal a game at play. By recognizing them, you can see through the tactics and stay in control. Then, stay calm. Don't react impulsively or let anyone dictate your emotions. Think of yourself as that unshakable force, a peaceful sea. Even if they try to stir the waters, you remain steady, grounded in who you are and what you want. And when breadcrumbing comes along, don't settle. You're not here for half-hearted attention or inconsistent effort. By calmly calling out this behavior and setting your own boundaries, you're showing respect for yourself and setting a high standard. Remember, the goal isn't to play games in return, it's to rise above them. Like Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That strength lies in your ability to stay composed, set boundaries, and choose genuine connections over shallow games. You're not chasing, you're not reacting, you're standing firm, grounded in your self-worth and confident in what you deserve. By doing so, you're not just avoiding mind games, you're building a life filled with respect, clarity, and authenticity. And that, in the end, is how you truly win. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care of yourselves and protect your peace.